16 years ago, in a small countryside maternity ward, an event unfolded that no one could have predicted. Three newborns came into the world. Triplets, a rarity in itself, but what shocked the hospital staff and sent whispers through the halls was something else entirely. The babies had soft brown skin, a striking contrast to their parents' pale complexions. As the mother lay exhausted, she glanced at her husband, her face a mixture of confusion and unease. The father, tall and silent, clenched his jaw, his eyes darting between the tiny infants. He looked as if he were grappling with an unspoken truth, a battle waging inside him. A nurse, trying to lighten the tension, congratulated them. The response was chilling. "We need time to think," the father said, his voice devoid of warmth. Hours passed. The couple barely spoke to the staff, their faces marked with an eerie detachment. Then the devastating news arrived. They had decided to leave. "It's impossible," the mother whispered, shaking her head. No amount of medical confirmation, no genetic probability could sway them. They refused to believe the children were theirs. Whether out of fear, shame, or something darker, they signed away their parental rights and walked away from the hospital, leaving three innocent lives behind. The hospital staff, though accustomed to heartbreak, found this particular case unsettling. Speculation spread. Some murmured about long-buried genetic lineage, an ancestor whose traits had resurfaced generations later. Others believed the father simply couldn't face the reality of raising children who didn't reflect his own image. But the cruelest truth remained. The triplets had been abandoned, left to the uncertain mercy of fate. For a time they remained under the care of social services. Some feared no. After all, adopting three children at once was daunting, but destiny had other plans. A week later, James and Cynthia Smith entered the picture. A hard-working couple with steady jobs, James a construction manager, and Cynthia, a dedicated nurse. They had spent years yearning for children, only to be met with disappointment. When they heard of the triplets' tragic beginning, something inside them stirred. They didn't see burden, they saw purpose. When they arrived at the hospital, the sight of the three tiny babies curled together in a crib sealed their decision. The nurse hesitated. "Would you consider adopting just one or two?" she asked carefully. James and Cynthia exchanged a glance, a silent agreement passing between them. "All three," Cynthia said firmly. "They're siblings. They belong together." A month later, the adoption was finalized. The triplets had a home, a family. James and Cynthia named them David, Kayla, and Elena. The early years were a whirlwind of sleepless nights and endless diaper changes, but love eclipsed the exhaustion. If strangers stared at the white couple pushing a stroller with three black babies, they ignored it. Their focus was singular, raising their children in a home filled with love and acceptance. As they grew, the triplets each developed their own personalities. Kayla, the introspective one, clung to Cynthia in unfamiliar situations. Elena, a fearless force of energy, was constantly exploring, leaving tiny handprints and laughter in her wake. David, the quiet protector, became his sister's steady anchor. But as the children got older, so did the whispers. Do they know who their real parents are? Do they ever wonder? Cynthia shut the gossip down with quiet but firm grace. "We are their real parents," she'd say. They never questioned it. Their world was the warmth of their parents' arms, the comfort of home. Yet as childhood melted into adolescence, curiosity surfaced. At 10, David asked, "Are they still out there, the ones who left us?" Cynthia, always honest, explained with careful words, "They weren't ready to be parents. We chose you." Kayla, always the thinker, read books on family and genetics, her mind searching for connections she might never find. Elena, bold and unafraid, asked, "Do you think we'll ever meet them?" David only shrugged. "We have mom and dad, that's enough," and life moved on. By 16, the triplets had carved their own paths. Kayla, a gifted violinist, filled the house with haunting melodies. Elena, a track star, pushed herself toward records no one thought possible. David, the quiet inventor, spent hours in the garage tinkering with robotics, his hands always creating, always building. The old rumors faded. The town once filled with skeptical whispers, now saw only a thriving family. Teachers praised the triplets' drive. Neighbors admired James and Cynthia's unwavering devotion. No one questioned their place anymore. Yet sometimes, on quiet nights, the past resurfaced. Did they ever try to find us? One of them would ask. The answer was always the same. No letters, no calls, no shadows from a distant past seeking to reclaim them. But it didn't matter. Because in their home, at their dinner table, where laughter rang out and love wove them together, the triplets knew one undeniable truth. Abandonment had been the beginning of their story, but